Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Grab the Controller, Drop the Mic podcast. And today we have two guests, William Page and Jaron Toyne. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Jaron Toyne.
Hi, I'm Will Page.
And today we will be talking about the game Borderlands 3. It's not released yet, but the trailer has been released. We will go over that in a few minutes. But I would just like to ask you some questions, guys, first. So, are you excited for the new game, and what things are you most excited for? Any features?
Honestly, I'm really excited for the game. I've played the other two games. Well, there's three, but yeah, I've played the other games, and honestly, I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah, this one seems like an original, pretty much. Art style's the same. Looking forward to see the next thing to do with Borderlands.
Yeah, so what makes the Borderlands franchise, and from what you've seen so far in Borderlands 3, so unique to any other big title games?
Definitely, its comedic take on points of apocalyptic kind of nature.
Yeah.
Like, it's very unique in its own sense of storytelling and the way it kind of conveys the characters well.
Yeah. How about you, Will? How do you feel about how is it unique to any other big title games?
Well, I think it's one of those games where it is its own game. There's not much like it. I mean, there's other games in terms of like looting systems that are kind of like the same,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of art style, it's very its own type of game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I see. So we'll play the Borderlands 3 trailer now, and we'll just go over some points.
Currently, we're looking at like 4 new characters to be introduced
Yeah.
into the game, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
All new characters, which I'm happy about because.
Are you excited
know.
for any potential returning characters at all?
There, in the trailer at least, there's quite a few returning characters from most of the games. To be honest, there's a few side characters that obviously aren't featured because either they couldn't fit them in or they aren't in it.
I mean, it has just been announced, and
Yeah.
so there's no. It's obviously there's still trailers to come, most likely. This probably won't be the final one we get, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, of course, and obviously any big title game has to have a certain value of surprise within the game, so obviously they won't post everything
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you feel this may differ from the Telltale Borderlands series?
Oh,
I played the Borderlands series, Tales from the Borderlands. Really good. Recommended to anyone who wants to play something to get into Borderlands because it is such a good introduction and it's a great story.
of course, yeah.
But it looks like there's links to the thing to the next game, to Borderlands 3, to what do you call it, Tales,
Yeah.
because the characters that are featured in Tales from the Borderlands are also featured in the trailer for number 3, which I'm really excited to see that because a different studio made Tales from the Borderlands, and I like that they're recognizing that it's part of that universe.
Yeah, do you reckon
Yeah.
that 3 will live up to 1 and 2 standards and maybe any other spin-off games that they had in the series?
Yes.
Do you think it'll be even
Definitely.
better?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of Borderlands, you wouldn't. It's one of those games where you don't want to try and like change the whole like art style. So it's obviously going to be like somewhat like similar. It's not nowhere near the same, but we see here in the trailer with the new aspect of the dinosaurs and new creatures. There's obviously a lot new like areas. It was more like dusty and like in a desert in the old one, like mostly everywhere. I mean, there's like few parts which was like snowy and stuff, but they've added like loads of new ones which seem like they look really cool.
Yeah, I did see in the trailer actually. It showed a split recording of someone running throughout each biome of the game. So
Yeah.
That looked interesting because it not only does it make me think, oh, there's more biomes, it makes me think this is a bigger world than we've seen before.
yeah,
Especially in Borderlands, at least.
so a much bigger world, but like some games have, they make a bigger world, but a lot of it will be empty. So it looks like they've made a bigger world, but added much more features to go into each aspect of
I mean,
each world.
there was a point that I saw in the trailer that it looked
There was
like
a big point. Yeah.
there's more vehicle customization.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw there was like a massive tire with someone sitting inside, which I thought was a really good idea.
Yeah.
I did see just a second ago, which I did want to bring up, Claptrap getting taken away, which I think could be a massive hint to the story.
You think that Claptrap's going to be integral to the story?
If you think how like important he was in the old games, I think, or in terms of important, he was just such like a funny character. If they take him away, I feel like the story's gonna come like a
The
bigger
thing is
thing.
with Claptrap is that nobody really likes Claptrap a lot.
Yeah, but he's still there.
Part of the.
It's
yeah.
part of the.
And so maybe if he's getting taken away, maybe he'll become a more important character, a character that people come to like a little bit more. He
Yeah.
might be given a little. Like,
I mean, the fans love Claptrap because he's just a comedic, like, point in the game, and
Yeah.
everybody can see Claptrap and know, oh, that's from Borderlands.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe they'll take him away and then give him a change in personnel by something maybe he's experienced, and then people may think, okay, yeah, the much more serious. This game's gonna be much more serious and have a much darker side.
Another thing to speak about is in the trailer. They say they have over 1 billion guns.
1 billion guns.
I think
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive on its own, but I think maybe we're a bit overselling it.
Maybe a little bit.
I reckon there's.
It depends
there's
the way that
guns, and then there's the customization that can come with the guns. I think it's combinations, unless it is actually 1 billion guns,
Yeah,
which
so
would be
I think it's.
awesome.
I think it's more. Maybe it's 1 billion guns. But I think for like the more rare guns, they're gonna have to limit them, only because people are gonna be wanting to grind for certain weapons and things. I think they wouldn't be able to specifically have that many.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just excited to see what they do with it, to be honest.
So that could segue into our next question, which is, do you think there'll be any downsides or anything that could make Borderlands 3 not as high quality game to 1 and 2?
When compared, I think it'll definitely be. It's a hard follow up because
Mhm.
they're both great games, but I do think that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the games company knows their fans and they know what they're doing with their marketing, especially.
Especially right at the beginning when they just have the original head of one of the enemies light up, like the eyes light up in blue. I think that's definitely a good marketing.
That could be even hinting a return.
What, even a fourth one, or like a.
Hinting a return in those certain bad guys.
Oh yeah, well I think they are. They're
Yeah.
in the trailer. That would be really exciting to see actually.
Exactly, yeah.
Following up from your question, actually, I think the new characters are a really idea, but I'm not sure if people are wanting the return of the same characters, like the same playable characters. But I'm not sure. I think it's just more personal opinion, really. But I'm excited for the new ones.
Because people they may want a bit of a difference to the previous 2 titles. They
Yeah.
might want not a complete fresh start, but a sense of newity in the series rather than just the same
Same
characters.
thing, yeah.
I mean, the games have always been all 3 of the other games have been released, including the pre-sequel. They feature different characters from the first 2, or any of the games, but as playable characters at least. And I agree that I'm glad that they're doing new characters, because if they was just the same characters over and over again, it would be repetitive and boring, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new characters.
So, from information you may know so far, maybe from information you know from what they can do in the previous Borderlands, do you think Borderlands 3 has a chance in becoming the game of 2019?
Oh, definitely.
At the moment, it stands a good chance, but there are other games that I think this year could stand a chance.
Yeah,
to
this
stand up to.
year is a very big year for games. I think
Yeah,
probably one of the
there's-
biggest years we've seen.
There was a real dry patch in 2017, and then 2018 kind of got a bit
Big
better,
oof.
but it wasn't great. Like
the big
whole
oomph of-
Fortnite thing was.
Yeah, the whole I mean, Fortnite. It's one of. I mean, it's personal opinion, really, isn't it? Really, but like, it's a little bit overrated in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Really, kind of taking over all the other games.
Still doesn't even hold a torch to Borderlands though.
Mm.
I feel that towards the end of 2018 and recently, a lot of big games have been released. Obviously, The Walking Dead Season 4.
Yeah.
Obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man,
Spider-Man was a big game.
and
this
many
year.
other game titles have been released
God of
and
War.
confirmed. God of War
God
is
of
another
War.
big example. So, obviously, games are on the rise again. So they all have a hard time, topping the charts for this year, as it's still early in the year. But
I think this is just one of those games. It's just so well known. Borderlands is, and I feel like it always sells very well, always.
I reckon that, like I've said it already, that they know what they're doing, but I really think that they're not gonna. I can't see them messing it up, to be honest. It's never like that they have to stick to a criteria of how a story goes in the Borderlands series. It's always whatever they want to do, and I really appreciate that they're a games company that cares about their fan service and they just want to have a good game released.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like they're so focused more on like things like story, like obviously guns, 1 billion guns. That's
Yeah.
immense, isn't it? Things like that. I think it's so much better than focusing on things like in-game purchases. Like I don't feel like they've ever been like money grabbing or anything like that. Like other games.
At the moment, there's a thing. Gearbox is getting a lot of hate at the moment because they're doing a 6-month Borderlands 3 exclusive on PC if you use the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, I heard about that. Personally, I mean, I don't think it's a problem. But
It's not
I mean,
a problem. It's just that it's
kind of annoying.
why don't you use Steam?
Yeah.
Like Steam's so much more accessible and it's a lot less
Yeah.
like viable for hacks.
Yeah.
so even going back to the whole 1 billion gun situation, I even saw something pop up with it said guns with legs. So I haven't seen that in any other game before. I mean, I've seen guns with wheels. I've seen obviously people carrying guns, but I've never seen guns with feet or legs or anything. So that's something else that's very unique in this game.
This game is very like unique. Like some of the stuff you do not see anywhere else. Like you said that.
It's always been like one of those games that's just so out of its own thing, and it knows what it's doing, and it's its own thing, and it's great.
The flow of
Yeah.
the game is really well done as well, isn't it? I think.
It's incredible. Like there's like a story. Obviously, it's a story-driven game, but there's like a story that's being told, and a lot of people that I know kind of miss out on that because they just play for the action. And there's a massive story that's unfolding, like before the eyes of the players when you play the games, and they're fantastic.
I think this year it's there's not any other game coming out like it, is there? This year, I'm not sure about next year either.
I don't think so. There's nothing as wacky
This game.
as Borderlands.
Because obviously, like there's things like Destiny, which is highly competitive to this game, only because of the way the game plays. So like in Destiny, it has the same looting system, things like that. But I think this is like one of the perfect years to release it, in my opinion, because obviously another Destiny's not going to come out for a long time, and any other game like it really. But
So what are your overall views on the trailer? This trailer released?
I think they've done very well on it.
It
Like
just
you, Joe.
looks. It honestly like. It's a nice look because, like. Even the art style in this, you can tell, has been updated. Everything looks newer, fresher, even despite having the still cell shaded style. It's kind of cool, to be honest.
Yeah, like even that is pretty immense. We've never seen that in a Borderlands. That's like a actual city,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
looks like a cyberpunk kind of looking thing. It looks nuts. I'm really excited for to see that because in the other games you're on a planet called Pandora, and everyone was trying to get off Pandora to go to a better place, and nobody questions where are they going.
Yeah, that's a good point. And this one, the fact, like, you never think this is a sort of Borderlands thing, but we did just spot this. We are running it in a bit of a slower time so we can see everything a bit more clear.
Yeah, and I feel like, look, obviously I'm not really familiar with Borderlands. I've seen bits and pieces of gameplay from 1 and 2 in the Telltale series, but looking at this trailer, I can see that Borderlands is going to be a massive game, massive open world game, really crazy game. But I feel that the craziness will work. That's what you said about it being so unique. It's so unique that there's no other game so different like this game, so crazy like this game. But still, it looks like they make it work.
Oh yeah, definitely. It also, like, even like the guns, like the amount of different creatures and all that. It just keeps the player involved in the game. It just doesn't like make it boring at all.
There aren't many lulls in any of the games. It's always engaging, and like even in the Telltale series that they did, Tales from the Borderlands, it didn't feel like it wasn't a Borderlands game. It still felt like it was part of that world. It was still nuts and funny and crazy.
Yeah, so many different.